corrections. Then we are going to study uses of concave and convex lens, and we are going to study about persistence of vision. Now, before starting today's topic, let us revise what we have studied yesterday. We have studied about Cartesian sign convention, correct? So, we have seen that in Cartesian sign convention, we consider the optical center of the lens. Okay, it is taken as the origin, and the principal axis of the lens is taken as x-axis of the coordinate system, and the distance which measured to the right of optical center are taken to be positive, while those measured to the left are taken to be negative. Then we have seen distances perpendicular to the principal axis or above it are taken to be positive, and distances perpendicular to the principal axis and below it are taken to be negative. Got it? And the focal length of a convex lens is positive, and that of a concave lens is negative. And always the object is kept on the left side of the lens. So this is about the Cartesian sign convention that we have seen. Then after that, we have studied about the structure of the human eye. Okay. So we have seen the various terms related with the human eye. That is the ciliary muscles, iris, pupil. So we have seen that how a pupil it control and regulates the amount of light. So then we have the crystalline lens, cornea, sclerotic cord, choroid. Then muscles are there, optic nerve, optic disc, retina. So retina it acts like the screen, and images formed on the retina. Okay, so all these things about the human eye we have studied. Now,
म्हणून मला घाई करत होतो 10:30 एक्झॅक्टली हाय माझा कसा पहिला दिवस आहे आज याचा.
So today we are going to study defects of vision and their correction. Got it? So let us study it one by one. Now, see students, you can see that some people cannot see things clearly, isn't it? So it is due to a loss of accommodation power of the lenses in their eyes. So because of the defective refraction by the lenses, their vision becomes faint. Got it? So what are these defects that we are going to study here? So let us study about the first defect, that is the nearsightedness or myopia. Okay. What is the defect known as? Nearsightedness or myopia. Now let us see what happens here. This effect is also known as myopia. A person nearby objects. Okay, listen carefully. It is a defect of vision in which a person clearly sees all the nearby objects but is unable to see the distant objects comfortably, and his eye is known as a myopic eye. But it means nearby objects can see clearly, but the distant objects do not appear to be clear. So that is called as the myopia or nearsightedness. Got it? Now a myopic eye has its far point nearer than infinity. Got it? It means that the far point of the eye is not at infinity, but it shifts closer to the eye. Got it? And what are the reasons for this? Let us see that reasons. The curvature of the cornea and the eye lens increases. Got it? So yesterday we have seen about the structure of eye. You can again observe the curvature of the cornea and the eye lens increases. Got it? See here you have the cornea and see the eye lens. So their curvature changes. The muscles near the lens cannot relax, so that the converging power of the lens remains large. Okay, so this is the main problem, that the converging power of the lens, it remains large. Got it? And the second thing, the eyeball elongates. Okay, see the shape of the eyeball. Here you can see this ray diagram. The eyeball, it elongates, and therefore what happens? The distance between the lens and the retina, it increases. Okay, so here you can clearly see in the picture the distance between the lens and the retina has increased. So what has happened over there? If you see the ray diagram, so the lights coming from the distant object, okay, and when it passes through the eye lens, you can see that rays, they converge at a point before the retina. Okay, means the image is formed in front of the retina. If you observe in the diagram here, the image is formed here in front of the retina. Okay, so these are the two reasons due to which this defect can occur. Okay, so what you have to remember about the nearsightedness or myopia, that a person is able to see clearly the nearby objects but is unable to see the distant objects. Got it? And what are the reasons for this? The curvature of the cornea and the eye lens increases, so the muscles which are near the lens cannot relax, so that the converging power of the lens remains large. And the second thing is that the eyeball, it elongates, so that the distance between the lens and the retina, it increases. And you can see in the diagram, the image is formed in front of retina. Okay. Now, how to correct this defect? Now, this defect can be corrected by using the spectacles with concave lens of proper focal length. Okay. How to correct this defect? We can use the concave lens of proper focal length. You can see in the diagram. Okay, so the concave lens is placed in front of the eyes. Now, what is the role of this lens? This lens diverges the incident rays. But you can see in the diagram, the lens, it diverges the incident rays, and these diverged rays can be converged by the lens in the eye. Okay, try to understand. This lens diverges the incident rays. You can see the a blue dotted line. Okay, so it diverges the incident light, and these diverged rays can be converged by the lens in the eye to form the image on the retina. Got it? Now you can see over here that the image, it is formed on the retina. Okay, whereas in this diagram here you can see that the image is formed in front of the retina. Okay, so this is the defect over here. So once we place the concave lens in front of the eyes, now you can see that the image is formed on the retina. Got it? So in this way we can correct this myopia. This defect we can correct. Now, the focal length of concave lens is negative. So a lens with negative power is required for correcting the nearsightedness. The power of the lens is different for different eyes depending on the magnitude of their nearsightedness. Yes, obviously, the power of lens is different for different eyes. Therefore, you can see that so many people are wearing the spectacles. You might have heard that some say that they have the negative number, some have the positive number, isn't it? So each and every person that negative number of this concave lens or whatever specs they are using, it may vary. Okay, it depends on the magnitude of their sightedness. So in this way, myopia can be corrected by using the concave lens of suitable focal length. So this is about the one defect that we have seen. Now let us study the another defect. So another defect is known as the farsightedness or hypermetropia. Okay, farsightedness or hypermetropia. So this defect is also known as hypermetropia. It is an eye defect in which a person is unable to see nearby objects clearly, but can see the far away objects clearly. Here, we can see the far away objects clearly, but the person is not able to see the nearby objects clearly. Got it? In the previous case of myopia, what we have seen, we are able to, a person is able to see the nearby objects clearly, but not able to see the far object. Here, in this defect, a person is unable to see the nearby objects, but can see the far objects clearly. So what is the reason for this farsightedness? First thing, the curvature of the cornea and the eye lens decreases. Okay, curvature of the cornea and eye lens, it decreases so that the converging power of the lens becomes less. So here you can see the reason, that is the converging power of the lens has become less. And second thing is that due to the flattening of the eyeball, the distance between the lens and the retina decreases. Now in this case, if you see, the distance between the lens and the retina has decreased. So you can see that the image is formed behind the retina. Okay, observe the diagram. The image is formed behind the retina here in this case. And what we have seen in case of myopia, see, image is formed in front of retina. Okay, whereas in hypermetropia, you can see image is formed behind the retina. Why? Because here the eyeball is flattened and there the eyeball is elongated. So this difference is also you should keep in mind. Okay. So once again, see what is farsightedness or hypermetropia. So here in this defect, a person is unable to see the nearby objects clearly, but can see the far away objects clearly. What are the reasons for this? First, curvature of the cornea and the eye lens decreases so that the converging power of the lens becomes less. Second thing, due to the flattening of the eyeball, the distance between the lens and the retina decreases. And you can see that the image is formed behind the retina. Okay. And also, you can see here in this, the near point of the eye is no longer at 25 centimeters. Okay. But it shifts farther away. Got it? Near point, it is not at 25 centimeters, but it shifts farther away. Okay. Now, let us see how this defect can be corrected. This defect can be corrected by using a convex lens with proper focal length. Okay, this lens converges the incident rays before they reach the lens. Okay, you can observe the ray diagram. You can see in front of the eye, the convex lens is used. Okay, and the light rays are converged. Okay. The lens, it converges the incident rays even before they reach the lens. Okay. The lens then converges them to form the image on the retina, and afterwards the lens will converge them to form the image on the retina. Got it? Now, the focal length of a convex lens is positive. Thus, the spectacle used to correct the farsightedness has the positive power. Got it? And in case of myopia, we have seen that the concave lens is used, okay, and it has the negative power. Here, in hypermetropia, convex lens is used. Okay. And the focal length of the convex lens is positive. And again, the same thing, the power of these lenses is different depending on the extent of farsightedness. Got it? So this was about the hypermetropia, or you can also call it as the farsightedness. Then after this, we have the another defect, that is the presbyopia. Okay. Now this is a common defect of vision which generally occurs at the old age. Okay. So a person suffering from this type of defect of vision cannot see the nearby objects clearly and distinctively. A presbyopic eye has its near point greater than 25 centimeters, and it gradually increases as the eye becomes older. And generally, what happens? The muscles near the lens lose their ability to change the focal length of the lens, and the near point of the lens shifts farther away from the eye. And because of this, the old people cannot see the nearby objects clearly, isn't it? So there can be the two reasons for this. That is the weakening of the ciliary muscles, right? Now we know that the role of the ciliary muscle is also it holds the eye lens. Now if the ciliary muscles become weak, obviously it is going to affect this. Then reduction in the flexibility of the eye lens. Okay. Now the eye lens will no longer be that much flexible so that it can adjust the focal length. So these are the reasons of the presbyopia. Now it also happens that sometimes people suffer from nearsightedness as well as farsightedness. So in such a case, bifocal lenses are required to correct the defect. Got it? In such lenses, the upper part is a concave lens and corrects the nearsightedness, while the lower part is a convex lens which corrects the farsightedness. Got it? You might have also seen that some people use the bifocal lens. Means they are having both this defect, nearsightedness as well as farsightedness. So in such cases, the bifocal lens is used to correct the nearsightedness as well as farsightedness. So in the same specs, you have concave lens as well as convex lens. Okay. So the upper part, it is the concave lens which will correct the nearsightedness, and the lower part of the spec, that will be the convex lens which will correct the farsightedness. Got it? So this three defects we have studied. Okay. Okay. So first one was the nearsightedness or myopia. Okay. In this, the person clearly sees all the nearby objects but is unable to see the distant objects. Okay, it is also known as myopia, and it is corrected by using the concave lens of suitable focal length. Second one we have seen farsightedness, or also called as the hypermetropia. In this, a person is unable to see the nearby objects clearly but can see the far away objects clearly. Here, in this case, the image it is formed behind the retina. So how this can be corrected? It can be corrected by using the convex lens of the suitable focal length, and the image can be formed on the retina. Then the next one you have, that is the presbyopia. So this defect mostly it occurs in the old age people. It is because due to the age, the ciliary muscles of the eyes become weak, and they cannot hold that eye lens properly, and even the eye lens, it has also lost reduced its flexibility. Got it? Then about the bifocal lens. Okay, so some people they suffer from both nearsightedness and farsightedness. So in such cases, the bifocal lens can be used to correct the defect, in which the concave as well as the convex lens is used. Okay. Now after that we have the apparent size of an object. Now just observe the diagram carefully. Consider two objects PQ and P1Q1. Okay, having same size but kept at different distance from an eye. So here in front of the eyes, you have the two objects. One object is PQ and another object is P1Q1. Okay. And that both the objects are of the same size. But what is the difference? These objects are kept at the different distances from an eye. Okay. Now let us see the angle subtended by PQ and P1Q1. Now you can see that as the angle alpha subtended by PQ at the eye is larger. Okay, you can observe in the diagram. The angle alpha, which is subtended by the PQ at the eye, is larger than the angle beta subtended by P1Q1. Okay. Therefore, the PQ appears bigger than P1Q1. Why? Because the angle subtended by PQ at the eye is larger. Therefore, that object appears to be bigger. So, on which thing does it depend? Does the apparent size of an object depends on the angle subtended by the object at the eye? Okay, remember this thing. The apparent size of an object depends on angle subtended by the object at the eye. So here, as the angle alpha is larger than the angle beta, therefore the object PQ, it appears to be bigger than the object P1Q1. Got it? Then after this, let us study uses of the concave lens as well as the convex lens. Okay. So uses of concave lenses. Now where are the concave lenses used? Medical equipments, scanner, CD player. These instruments use laser light. Okay. For proper working of these equipments, concave lenses are used. Then the peephole in the door. Okay, this you might have observed already. Okay. So this is a small safety device which helps us see a large area outside the door. So this uses one or more concave lenses. So, see students, in your house also you observe the peephole which is present at your door. You can observe through that. Okay. So through that you can see the large area outside the door. Okay. So here also one or more concave lenses are used. Then third, that is the spectacles. And we have seen that the concave lenses are used in spectacles to correct the nearsightedness. Just now we have seen. So the concave lens, it is having the negative focal length. So it is used in the spectacles. Then afterwards, torch. Concave lens is used to spread widely the light produced by a small bulb inside a torch. So the concave lens is used in the torch. Got it? Because as it is having the ability to diverge, okay. Therefore, it is used in the torch to spread that light. Then afterwards, it is used in the camera, telescope, microscope. So this instrument mainly use the convex lens, but to get the good quality images, a concave lens is used in front of the eyepiece or inside it. Okay. So these are the various uses of the concave lens. So once again, we will just summarize this. Concave lens is used in the medical equipment, scanner, CD player, peephole in the door. It is used in the spectacles. It is used in the torch. Then it is used in the camera, telescope, and microscope. Okay. Then after this, let us study the use of convex lens. Okay. So in that we have first, that is the simple microscope. Okay. So let us study about this. You can observe the ray diagram. A convex lens with small focal length. Here, a convex lens with small focal length produces a virtual, erect, and bigger image of an object. So we get a bigger image of an object. Got it? And here you can see here in the ray diagram. Okay, so we have already studied about the image formation. Now by looking at the ray diagram, you understood the nature of the image. That is the P1, Q1. Okay, that is the image. Now how is the nature of the image? It is virtual, erect, and bigger image of an object. Got it? So such a lens is called simple microscope or the magnifying lens. Okay, what we call such lens? Such a lens is called as the simple microscope or magnifying lens. Got it? So one can get a 20 times larger image of an object using such microscope. These are used for watch repair, testing the precious gems and finding their defects. So you might have observed that while repairing the watch, they are using the lens, that is the magnifying lens. So it is nothing but the convex lens. Okay. Then compound microscope. Now, simple microscope is used to observe small sized objects. Okay. But minute objects like blood cell or cells of plant and animals and even the minute living beings like bacteria, it cannot be magnified sufficiently by simple microscope. Means though we are using the simple microscope to observe the small sized object, but still we have some objects which are very small. Okay, so that even can't be observed by the simple microscope. So in this case, compound microscopes are used to study this type of objects. Okay. Now, how is this compound microscope made? See, a compound microscope is made of two convex lenses. Okay, that is the objective and eyepiece. Which are the two convex lens? Objective and eyepiece. Remember this. The objective has smaller cross section and smaller focal length. You can, meanwhile, you can also see that array diagram. Okay, the objective has the smaller focal length. Larger focal length. Got it? So with the help of this, higher magnification can be obtained by the combined effect of the two lenses. Got it? So in this way, we can observe that minute things by the combination, by the combined effect of these two lens. Which are the two lens? That is the objective lens and the eyepiece. Objective lens having the smaller focal length, eyepiece it is having the larger focal length, but by the combined effect of these two lenses, we can obtain the higher magnification. Okay, so here you observe the diagram. The magnification it occurs at the two stages. Okay, the image formed by the first lens. Okay, the image formed by the first lens acts as the object for the second lens. Got it? The image which is formed by the first lens, it will be the object for the second lens. And if you see, the axis of both the lenses are along the same line. And these lenses are fitted inside a metallic tube in such a way that the distance between can be changed. Okay. Now suppose you can see here in the diagram, the object it is written over there. Okay. Now this will be the object for the objective lens, and after refraction you get the image. Okay, here you get the image. Now this image will act as the object for the second lens. And you see the image. You can see this green line. So that is the so higher magnification can be obtained by this combination of the lenses. Okay. So in this way, in the compound microscope, we use the convex lens. So the compound microscope, it is used to study minute objects like blood cells, cells of plants and animals, minute living beings like bacteria. Okay. Then next we have the telescope. You know that telescope is used to see the distant objects clearly in their magnified form. Correct. The telescopes used to observe the astronomical sources like the stars and the planets are called as the astronomical telescope. Right. The telescopes are of the two types. First, we have the refracting telescope. This uses the lenses. And second one, we have the reflecting telescope. So in reflecting telescope, it uses a mirror as well as lenses. Okay. Then in both of this, the image formed by the objective acts as the object for the eyepiece, which forms the final image. An objective lens has the larger diameter and larger focal length, because of which the maximum amount of light coming from the distant object can be collected. Okay. Then you can see that the convex lens is also used in the optical instruments. Okay. Convex lenses are used in the various optical instruments like camera, okay, projector, spectrograph, etc. Then afterwards, in spectacles, convex lenses are used in spectacles for correcting the farsightedness. Yes, we have seen this thing. So these are the uses of convex lens. Okay, so let us see once again. So convex lens, it is used in the simple microscope. It is used in the compound microscope. Okay, here the two lenses are used, that is the objective lens and the eyepiece, and we can obtain the higher magnification by the combined effect of these two lenses. Then convex lens, it is used in the telescope, okay, in a refracting telescope, reflecting telescope. It is used in the optical instruments like camera, projector, spectrograph, etc. Then it is used in the spectacles for correcting the farsightedness. Now, next topic we have, that is the persistence of vision. Okay. As dear student, we can see an object because the eye lens creates its image on the retina. Yes, isn't it? Therefore, we are able to see the object. Now, the image is on the retina as long as the object is in front of us. Got it? And the image disappears as soon as the object is taken away. Got it? However, this is not instantaneous, and the image remains imprinted on our retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. So the sensation on retina persists for a while. So this is called as the persistence of vision. Got it? Then see, if you have some object in front of the eyes, its image will be formed on our retina and we are able to see that object. Okay. And afterwards, if the object is removed from that place, okay, the image will also disappear, isn't it? But it is not that instantaneous. Once we remove the object, still the image, it remains imprinted on our retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. So the sensation on retina persists for a while. Okay. So this sensation, we call it as the persistence of vision. Got it? So it is very simple. Okay. Now let us study how do we perceive different colors. Okay, yes. We are able to see the objects. Okay, why we are able to see the objects? Up till now, we have studied about the image formation. We have studied about the image formation by concave lens as well as the convex lens. And we have also seen that structure of eye, and we know that the image, it is formed on the retina, isn't it? So whenever some object is placed in front of our eyes, its image is formed on our retina and therefore we are able to see that object. Now, the case is not that only we are able to see the object, but we are able to identify the color also, isn't it? We are able to identify the color of that object as well. Okay. So let us study how we are able to determine the color of the object also. Now we know that retina is made up of light sensitive cells, this we have studied. Okay. Now these cells are shaped like a rod and like a cone. Got it? So in the retina, we are having the two types of cells. Which are that cells? Some are like the rod shape and some are like the cone shape. Okay. Now what does the rod-like cells does? The rod-like cells respond to the intensity of light and it gives the information about the brightness or the dimness of the object to the brain. Got it? What is the role of the rod-like cells? It responds to the intensity of light and it gives information about the brightness or the dimness of the object to the brain. Okay. Then the conical cells, the other type of cells, the conical cells respond to the color. Okay. The conical cells respond to the color and give information about the color of the object to the brain. Understood? So the rod-like cells give information about the brightness or the dimness of the object, and the conical cells, they give the information about the color of the object. Now, the brain processes all the information received and we see the actual image of the object. Got it? So, whatever the information is given to the brain, okay, by this rod-like cells, and the conical cells, the brain will process all the information and we will see the actual image of the object. Got it? Now, the rod-like cells respond to the faint light. Okay, rod-like cells respond to the faint light also, but conical cells do not. See here. Rod-like cells, they will respond to the faint light, but conical cells do not. Thus, we perceive colors only in the bright light. Understood? Why? Because the conical cells do not respond to the faint light. Therefore, we perceive colors only in the bright light. Now, the conical cells can respond differently to red, green, and blue colors. It will give different responses to the red color, green color, and the blue color. Now, when red color falls on the eyes, the cells responding to the red light get excited here. When the red light will enter your eyes, the cells which are responding to the red light, they will get excited more. Okay, they will get more excited than those responding to the other colors. And we get the sensation of the red color. Got it? But see, some people lack the conical cells responding to the certain color. Got it? Therefore, these persons cannot recognize those colors or cannot distinguish between different colors. So what is the reason for this? Why some people are not able to recognize the different colors? Because they lack the conical cells. Okay, so up till now you might have understood what is the role of the conical cells, isn't it? So these people, they lack the conical cells which respond to the certain color. Okay, so these persons are said to be colorblind. Okay, so these persons are said to be colorblind. You might have heard about this. Apart from not being able to distinguish between different colors, their eyesight is normal. The only thing is they are not able to distinguish the color. Why? Because they lack the conical cells. Okay, rest other things are normal. So this is how we perceive different colors. Got it? So in the retina, we know that we have the light sensitive cells. In that light sensitive cells, we have the two types of cells, that is the rod-like cells and the conical cells. Now, rod-like cells, they give information about the brightness or the dimness of the object, whereas the conical cells, they give information about the color of the object. And this information is sent to the brain. The brain will process all this information and we get the actual image of that object. Okay, and you see that in some people, they cannot recognize the color. Okay, so what is the difficulty they are having? That these people lack the conical cells which respond to the certain colors. Okay, and this person are said to be the color blind. And apart from this, their eyesight is normal. Got it? Okay, student. So today, what we have learned? We have learned about the defect of vision and their correction. So three types of defects we have seen: myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia. We have also seen how they can be corrected. Got it? Then afterwards, we have studied about apparent size of an object. So apparent size of an object, it depends upon the angle subtended by the object. Then we have studied about the uses of the concave lens and the convex lens. Okay. And persistence of vision. Then how we perceive the different colors. Okay. Now, let us see the exercise. Now, what type of scientific reasons can be asked? Simple microscope is used for watch repairs. Now, just now we have studied about the simple microscope, isn't it? So we have seen that the simple microscope, it is having the convex lens. So why that simple microscope is used for watch repair? Obviously, to observe that small size object, isn't it? So see here, simple microscope has the convex lens which has ability to produce 20 times larger as well as erect image of the object. So this means the magnifying power of the microscope is very high. Okay, the simple microscopes are used by the watchmakers to see the small parts and screws of the watch while repairing it. Got it? Now, second reason, one can sense colors only in the bright light. So this also we have seen. The cells present on the retina and responsible for the color vision are known as the cone cells, conical cells or cone cells. So these cells become active only under the bright light and remain inactive under the dark. Okay, thus we are able to sense only in bright light. Okay. Then let us see the next view reason, that is, we cannot clearly see an object kept at a distance less than 25 centimeters from the eye. Okay. Now, what is the reason for this? We cannot clearly see an object kept at a distance less than 25 centimeters from the eye. This is because the ciliary muscles of our eyes are unable to contract. Beyond certain limit, they will not contract. Now, if the object is placed at a distance less than 25 centimeters from the eye, then the object appears blurred because the light rays coming from the object meet behind the retina. Got it? So therefore, we cannot clearly see that object. It will appear blurred. You can also try this. Yesterday also, I told you. Okay. I have taught you about the minimum distance of distinct vision. Okay. If you hold, suppose for example, the book or a mobile, if you try to hold the mobile very much near to your eyes, will you be able to see it properly? Will you be able to read the things properly? No, they will appear blurred. Because in this case, what happened? The image, it is formed behind the retina. The image is not formed on the retina, isn't it? But if you keep the object, or if you keep that book at the distance of 25 centimeters, then the image will be formed on the retina and we will be able to see the object clearly. Okay, and this is the reason that we cannot clearly see an object which is kept at a distance less than 25 centimeters from the eye. Got it? Now these are some exercise questions. You have to write answers. What is myopia? How is it corrected? Which lens is used to correct hypermetropia? What is bifocal lens? Right uses of concave lens. Right uses of convex lens. You can also take screenshot of this exercise. Okay, students? So here we will wind up with this today's lecture. Thank you very much.
Sumit sir, stop the
Sonia
recording.
ma'am. Sonia ma'am.
Stop the recording. Stop the recording.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.